Then Destiny happened.
What you got when the motherfucking beat drops?
Welcome back. Oh no, not the fucking cameras. There we go. Ish. Hello. Hi. Oh, this is great. There we go. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Otaku Saga. Welcome back to the Pain Train. As we continue on.
Pain indeed.
Yeah, as we continue on our live action review and reaction of Cowboy Bebop, the live action.
Been thinking about nothing but the show. 24/7. It's changed my life. Oh, hi, Ryu. Oh, I see.
Hopefully.
All right, so yeah, we left off on episode. We finished episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we finished. What's it called? Dog Star Swing, which was their take on the Ein episode.
Right.
And we're about to do Callisto Soul is what they call it, episode 4.
Yeah. Now I imagine Rizzo will be hopping back in with us later on. And just it's a hard sell for anybody to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, Rizzo did say that it's in the middle of his winter break, so he could make some changes, but I think even then it's a hard sell.
You never want to wake up. Even if you wake up at a normal time, you don't want to get up.
No.
Just want to be in bed forever.
Also, hello, Wabi Sabi. How's it going?
Yes. Someone likes my name for this show.
Okay, well, and this time I have a hard cider. I have a hard cider with me, so I'm gonna crack that open and give it a first taste.
Alcohol is required.
It certainly seems that way. Whew. All right. So,
The
start.
episode hasn't even started 0, and you're already taking a swig.
Oh, I know.
It's not that bad yet, is it?
I do believe it is.
I'm trying not to scare Fanta off. We need to keep him interested for the for watching the original anime.
I mean, as I said, the worse this is, the more interested I'll get. So,
Okay, fair enough. Netflix, do your worst.
oh,
Oh,
so we
I'm gonna
donated
regret that.
$2.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, thank you for the $2. Okay, now if the fucking thing would actually stay on the cameras, that'd be great. All right, are we ready?
Sorry,
Ready
but
to go?
I'm ready.
I'm ready now.
Oh, I don't know if I am. I don't want to. Oh, this is terrible torture.
You're doing it for the likes and the views.
Yeah, so please, please share. Make sure everybody comes and watches my pain with me.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, because otherwise the pain is futile.
Otherwise, the pain is pointless. All right, episode 4. This one is just over 40 minutes. Okay. Yeah, love you too. Love you too, Sabi. All right, starting episode 4 in 3, 2, 1. Let's jam.
What kind of name is Tomorrow Studios? You couldn't think of a better name?
Wait, they did a McDonald's?
They had that much budget and they couldn't do.
Oh dear. It's her again.
You're a terrible actress. Can't even fake that you're. Oh, never mind. Oh, don't you sound sad and terrible?
I mean, that's a compelling argument.
Indeed.
Oh, got another donation.
Thank you, Sabi.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Oh, that was bad timing.
Oh no. They're doing this episode.
Man, I hated this in the anime. It's not any better in the live action. This group was cringy as fuck and annoyed the hell out of me.
Ugh, people. Ooh.
I mean,
At least that's something that we can agree on, Faye.
she's she's definitely portraying the character properly.
Is that what is this?
Oh, oh shit.
Nice job.
You had one job.
This is so blurry. Oh.
Well, shit.
Damn.
I mean,
That looks pretty cool though.
I mean, it looks awesome.
I mean, it's it's certainly a change I can understand considering what this originally was supposed to do. So that was Least she could have done is put us out of our misery and shoot her between the eyes.
What?
Apparently, balls is a very strong swear in the future.
Only to feminists.
It's true. To them, balls are very offensive.
Yeah. It bugs me that everything about this just bothers me.
I think that was kind of obvious after episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah. God, how much mustard do you need?
Are you sure that's mustard and not cheese whiz?
I just ate lunch. You're making me hungry now.
Well,
You put it back on to the same plate.
uh,
One for each foot.
oh dear.
Got shot.
Uh-huh.
No.
No.
What kind of newscaster?
Oh, what?
It's not a very good answer.
Definitely not an answer that Netflix Faye would approve of. She still needs him.
Oh,
At least that part is a little close to the
Yeah,
character
close-ish.
ish.
He's just taken the dog and the swordfish.
I don't
To
think
the B
Faye's,
plot.
I don't think Faye's ever touched the swordfish.
She never did.
Oh, that's what the swordfish is. I had no idea what that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swordfish is the actual red ship.
Wait, they turned Mal female? Run, Ein. Stay away from the girl who wants to eat you.
Rip.
Why did this happen?
What, the tree thing?
Yeah. What was it like? What would Mother do? Turn myself into a tree?
No, this is the hostage. The one she was
Oh,
trying to get the
oh, I
phone
see.
from.
Please?
Yes, his expression does tell everything. Also, hi, Wipeout.
Hmm. Why are we jumping over here?
No clue. I'm expecting it might have something to do with Annie's surveillance.
What they turned Gren into is absolutely infuriating. I'm with the old lady. That's a bad answer.
Yeah, it's a horrible answer.
It's technically true,
It-
but it's
There's no way she's
also
gonna.
a horrible answer. Yeah. That.
Can I have
And
my
that.
gun yet? I was waiting for that.
Well,
And it will probably also cut into your benefits.
I mean, did Spike not remember what happened with the casino bounty?
He's like, whatever.
It's actually interesting to see Faye actually be a fighter
Yeah,
because
I'll
she really
I'll give her
wasn't.
this much. I'll give her this much. She has done some good. Um, yeah, she's giving her all in the fight scenes,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's been well choreographed. So I'll give her that.
Hey, my phone.
Hey,
This is why you don't get distracted while fighting.
hey! For once, we actually see a crotch attack hurt a woman. That's no. The thing is,
Yeah.
Hollywood has this fascination with the crotch attack only affecting men. No, it works both.
Yeah.
Leaving her babies behind. Did someone jump in at the back?
Prexessed it out.
That's already bugging me.
Mm-hmm.
The change in that dynamic.
Sound like a 2-year-old. Really?
Yeah.
And
Well,
and they also
that's also a problem. And wow, they went there.
one launch. Yay, backup plans.
What are you actually planning on doing? Running into the rocket?
Yes, as it turns out,
Yeah.
she actually rammed the damn thing.
Huh. Color me surprised. Like, actually surprised.
Huh.
That's definitely not what she did in the original. I do like it though.
Yeah.
This is really they're playing this very sad music. I wasn't supposed to be sad here.
Yeah.
Think you're supposed to be sad?
Why? We barely know her.
Why? Yeah. Yeah, that's also my thought.
I mean, it does make sense a little bit that they're trying to get her to be.
Don't do it. Don't. Don't do it. The bounty. Well, shit. Technically the same fate.
Technically the same fate. Oh, that sounds
Hi,
weird.
Ein.
That sounds really weird.
Oh. Wait. Did. Is this a reverse of.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Truth. I could see that.
I, that's in character for Spike.
That's also in character for Faye.
one of the few moments we've seen that's in character. I really want to talk about this episode and the changes it's made, but it's one of the episodes that I think Fanta needs to see in the original form without spoilers, just to
Yeah.
get the full impact.
Okay.
B plot notwithstanding, because that's all Netflix original.
Of course.
Um,
So how we do this? Let's get Fanta's idea about how it was on its own.
okay.
And
In the
then
original,
we will
yeah,
mute man. We'll have Fanta mute himself or take his headphones off or something like that, and then
maybe, yeah.
We'll talk about the
Yeah, that
differences.
sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. So yeah, Fanta will in the Discord will mention when it's time to
Wait, I will
unmute your
mention in the
headphones.
Discord.
We will.
No, we'll mention in the
Okay.
Discord
So
when you should unmute your
Yeah.
your headset. Okay.
withstanding any like this isn't an adaptation. You have no
Yeah.
idea about that Cowboy Bebop the anime was a thing, right?
Mhm.
That mindset. This is completely standalone on its own. How do you?
I actually kind of liked the episode.
What's actually funny is I kind of did too.
Yeah. So far, um, while it isn't actually while it's not faithful at all to the original, it's still using similar story beats for part of it. It's also the best written, as far as
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah. How do you like
So
her?
I'll yeah.
I don't dislike her like I thought I was going to. At least
Okay.
currently. I kind of like her. Yeah. I mean, there were certain things I can't think off the top of my head that did kind of make me go like I mean the her acting like a 2-year-old and go like whatever she was doing there. Um
The whole faking a bad
yeah,
signal
that was
and
really
yeah.
That fucking worked.
I don't know, I kind of like her.
And so structurally, you like this the episode.
Yeah.
Faye, you have no real issues with the
And
character as presented on screen, seeing as you don't know where she's from.
mhm.
Um, anything? Any other comments as a newcomer?
Um hmm. No, not really. Can't think of anything at the moment.
I think you'll have a lot more to say after you've watched the rest of the series.
Probably.
Oh God, yeah. And once he's watched the original,
And it was since it was mostly an episodic episode anyway. You know.
yeah.
And that's
To be
fairly that's fairly equal to the anime. Most of them.
I think the
were-
anime. Yeah, I think the anime only has 4 two-parters in the entire thing. It is complete, and it's completely episodic otherwise.
Yeah. And it's despite the fact that it is completely episodic, it does have a series of
A plot.
well, it has a series of like camaraderie moving forward a little bit
Yeah.
by bit.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think that's most of it is very similar to how the last bit here was.
Mm.
where you see Faye kind of
The Faye
look
and Spike
happy.
interaction, yeah.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of like Faye and Spike interacting like that.
Mhm.
So those were almost on point.
You have similar interactions with between Jet and Spike that you've seen so far, though a lot less antagonistic than it seems. For especially when you factor in that even in the Netflix adaptation, they've worked together as bounty hunters for 3 years. But it's all about how they go from ragtag strangers to found family, who all happen to work towards the same goal: get out of poverty as quick as they can.
For various reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty similar to the original. Very episodic.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, I want to address something actually. What did you think of the dialogue in the dive or diner that they were in with the all you can eat fake cheesy bread among other dishes?
You mean the dialogue between them talking about the food, or when Faye showed up?
The food, the bidet, when Faye showed up, that entire scene. Oh,
Well, it was
it's
making me a little hungry.
head in hands from Zero there.
For me, it was just making me. I was just thinking about the food. I wasn't even. It's intense. It was
Okay.
like, oh man, the
yeah, it's
food.
interesting.
It's just when I was watching that, I was almost feeling like the gaps were designed for laughter tracks.
Sounds like it.
It could almost be an 80s sitcom with a laughter track in there, with the gaps that they had between lines.
I
That
can see that.
definitely sounds right. Um,
And
what sucks is like when Jet first starts like praising a bidet.
oh god,
I
yeah,
was like, yeah, I could totally see that. I have a bidet. Both of my bathrooms have bidets. I
yeah,
enjoy them. They're very
yeah.
refreshing.
But
um,
yeah, I mean,
but
you.
then it so I do get um the confusion of how a bidet works, right? I do
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
confusion of it because when people who have no idea what a bidet is come into my house and they
yeah,
go
yeah.
use the restroom and they have no fucking idea what a bidet is
Yeah.
and they go to flush the toilet and turn the bidet on instead, they get they get sprayed in the face,
Oh,
and it's
it's one
guaranteed
of.
to happen even if you like.
I mean, I'm used to the European style where it's usually beside the toilet and cistern, not the ones built in.
Well, that's exactly what we have. Like
Which is yeah.
all of our stuff,
Oh, okay.
it's not
Yeah, but when you
in the
said when you
like.
try and flush, yeah, when you try and flush, you accidentally hit the bidet control. That sounds to me like
So
it's
on
an interesting design.
the ones that I have, both of them have a dial on the side. The ones that I have,
Okay.
the ones that my parents have, they are a they're a similar knob to the flush, but
Oh,
it's still the same dial, but it's kind of off behind you a little bit.
oh God, that thing.
So
Okay,
there's
that style.
and the other thing is my parents have the push button flush. So they it's
Yeah. So your
the
parents'
lowest
toilets
the
are
lowest
designed to be a trap.
yes. And it's a great trap.
No, but I do have to say that because the laughter track gaps, at least from my point of view, were stark. As a result, it felt like someone deliberately wrote that scene as a comedy skit. And it's even more telling when the newscaster used the same language that Faye did.
Yeah. This is where they just comes like, what? Excuse me, trees? This is a joke. I'm like, really? Yeah.
No, the fact that she even said, shit, that's nutbags,
Oh, I didn't
not
catch that.
2 minutes after Faye used, that's completely nutbags.
Yeah, it was probably
That's,
really 100% meant to be funny.
it gave it too much of a sitcom vibe, and I don't. The original Cowboy Bebop did parody a sitcom during one of the episodes, but
It was a previous episode with Hein.
yeah, yeah, yes, it that was the episode that it the was the sitcom parody. The issue is I don't know if it even in a well constructed episode like this, if that was the right
Oh, no.
tone. And I'm
Zad,
worried that it
thanks
will
for
be.
stopping by, though.
Oh, oh,
Thanks, Abel.
bye. Thanks for staying.
Actually, I have a
Um,
question.
yeah.
So Faye just shrugging off the gun wound, is that just
To
like,
be
is there like,
fair, in the anime, there are characters who do shrug off bullet wounds like that.
okay,
Most
fair enough.
people shrug off bullet wounds like that in
Yeah,
the anime.
like that in the anime. Or at least if they're major enough characters, they do.
It's their plot armor.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, plot armor allows them to shrug off injuries, but not completely.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a trope that seems to have been carried over from the anime. It does feel jarring because I'd imagine with the advance of technology, because um this is
200 years in the
still
future.
late, yeah, 200 odd years in the future still. The advance of firearms technology, even with slug firing pistols,
Yeah, that's
um
true.
would have meant that the caliber of weapon they're firing should have been enough to do more than that kind of
Yeah.
damage.
These are like regular guns.
And
The guns have never advanced in 200 years. Not at all.
I
Totally
can
not.
actually see that.
I can see that because you don't mess with a design that works not significantly until you find something that significantly improves on the original.
Like ray guns.
Yeah.
Well,
And
no, well, railguns.
yeah.
If you
But
could make a portable railgun, that would get rid of
even a
slug.
portable railgun, that's still that's still just a projectile being fired, and
Yeah.
the ballistics of a projectile being fired, just a solid projectile being fired,
Yeah.
are always they're very similar, right?
They're similar. It's just
And so I got two bullets here, right?
yeah.
One is
Oh wow.
a
Okay.
one is a 357. This is a full metal jacket, and this one is a 38 special, and this is a hollow
Yeah.
point. These two, interestingly enough, this one would probably do similar damage to Faye just because it went right through her.
Okay.
This one, there might be a substantial exit wound.
Yeah.
But
The hollow point. Yeah.
if it was a hollow point, the exit wound would be enormous.
Yeah.
And she is not getting it from that.
Yeah. They took good care not to show where an exit wound would have been on her.
Yeah. I couldn't see one.
I couldn't see any scene where they allowed you to see enough of the back of her to
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
show
inside of her and it's
the-
gonna stay there the rest
yeah.
of the show.
That
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah. That
She's too small.
no, there's yeah.
But the it's actually, interestingly enough, taking out the adaptation part, the acting
Mhm.
is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um,
Um, Getting shot.
we've already praised Mustafa Shakir for doing what he can with the material. We've already praised John Cho for trying really hard.
And I will praise Daniela Daniela
Uh,
Pinelli
Pineda.
Pineda.
Yeah.
Daniela Pineda, actually acting out properly, getting hit, getting shot, fighting, actually getting hit in the crotch. All
Yeah.
those things, like the way that they've done the choreography and the actual acting is actually very well done.
Yeah. Her physical acting is really good in terms of selling the physicality of whatever she's doing or having done to her in the scene.
Mhm.
Yeah, the actual physical acting, and it's the same thing with Cho. The actual physical fights,
Yeah.
having him back run up a wall and over the guy
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so good. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You'd never get to see those kinds of, like, you get to see them, but they like the camera doesn't catch it very well, or it doesn't do it justice. This one did it justice. So
Mm.
if there's anything to praise the live action Cowboy Bebop for, it's the physical acting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They all trained, actually, speaking of the physical stuff, they all trained with the same firefighting training and close combat training instructors that are used for the John Wick films. So again,
Oh,
they
nice.
use their budget.
They use
They
their
use their
budget well.
they use their budget well to try and make a good show. No one sets out to make anything terrible, and it's clear that there's some love and passion for this show from the creatives. It's the result, the execution, that I have an issue with. They've they've done what they can to make a good foundation, but they don't understand the material they're adapting. Or at least that's my take.
Yeah, I can definitely, that is definitely a thing. The sets are just top notch.
Mm,
Everything about the sets, everything about the
yeah,
visuals are
yeah,
more or less top notch. I still
yeah.
think that the swordfish looks like somebody is copy pasting a person in the pilot suit.
I know. Actually,
So
I agree.
Because
I kind of look
yeah,
like that to me
the
too.
only part of the swordfish that is real is the cockpit and about a foot in all directions of the canopy. Everything else is CG.
but it and that's what makes it
Yeah, it just doesn't
so
look right.
weird to me, because for me it's the pilot in the cockpit seat that looks
That
copy
looks
pasted.
the fakest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the thing. When I first saw her in there, my
yeah.
mind for a moment like
Because
went
I
like,
mean,
huh? What am I
you
looking at?
actually have they've actually got footage in the outtakes of, you know, the bit where she mouths "serves you right" to Spike
Yeah,
from the cockpit of the swordfish. They've That's one of the outtakes where she does that, turns, and she gets some of the dog Harry's fur in her mouth, and she has to spit it out because the crane moved too fast.
Hmm.
So the fakest looking part of the swordfish are the bits that are actually real.
yeah,
They are
Very
that are
strange.
filmed practically, and I think it's one of the issues with green screen.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because when you do green screen, the green tint from reflected light and stuff does impact the colors of everything. So when they get rid of that, they still have to correct for it. It's why The Mandalorian looks so much better, because instead of a green screen, they have essentially a 3D dome screen behind them at all times that they can project whatever they want onto it to get realistic reflections.
That's pretty cool.
But that is the
That is
sort of
pretty
thing
cool.
where you need a stupid budget to
Yeah,
get
those
to.
are really
And I,
pretty
Yeah.
good.
yeah. And for all the money that Netflix is willing to throw at Cowboy Bebop because of it's being such a high profile property, an estimated 7 million per episode, plus marketing, plus all the rest of it, they probably spent, I would guess, at 100 million on this overall. But that's not the 1 billion that they spent on The Mandalorian so far over at Disney.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they did, because like there are certain aspect. I love The Witcher, the Witcher series
Mm,
on Netflix. It's a good
yeah,
series. Um,
it's a
it's a
great adaptation of the books.
it's a series that I can recommend
Yeah.
for my mom, my dad, who both love Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Right? Anybody who loved Game of Thrones, go watch The Witcher. It's a good
They
series.
should they should enjoy The Witcher. Anybody who loves a darker take on most European fairy tales or Lord of the Rings will also like it.
But
And clearly,
there was a certain aspect of it that they cheapened out on, and that's a little bit of the costume design. In terms of like even Geralt's costume itself, it looks slightly cheap. Many of the other costumes, they look cheap. And then the
Ar-
Nilfgaardian armor is horrible.
yeah, paradox. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about that because there's a description that I am trying to avoid using that went mimetic over the internet.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
look like pieces of crap.
no, no. Um,
Or wrinkly balls.
I'm gonna type. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, they literally look like wrinkly black balls. I don't. You know,
Yeah.
Otaku Saga doesn't censor
So
themselves at all.
yeah. True, but I'm an Otaku Saga guest. So
We are a
at the
proponent of
moment,
free
I'm gonna
speech.
go.
100%.
Yeah, I'm going to go with. I don't want to ruin anything about your show, so I'll self censor, but that's as far as I'll go.
For the most part,
Um.
you don't need to do that. I
Okay.
proponent of free speech 100%.
Cool. Um. The
Anyway, yeah,
thing
they
is,
look
paradoxically,
terribly.
yeah, paradoxically, with Cowboy Bebop, they've spent the money on the outfits.
Yeah,
The outfits look quite good. Even Faye's costume with the redesign looks good. As a worn piece of outfit,
yeah.
and it
It looks
looks
like
like
it's been worn
it's
for the past five
yeah,
years. Nothing else.
and it yeah, and it looks like it can handle the rough and tumble that Daniela Pineda's going through during her scenes.
Yeah.
Um, I also like that they have actually broadened her wardrobe so that remember that red dress from the
Mm-hmm.
Ballad of Fallen Angels,
Mm-hmm.
where she gets where she ooh no, can't say that. That's spoilers for Fanta.
I was just thinking that,
Um,
like, wait a minute.
yeah,
I'm
in the
aware of the
Ballad of
red dress.
Fallen Angels, that red dress. Yeah, the fact that they make a nod to it by having her wear it at the opera. Yes, I like that. Um, and so far, Jet's and Spike's costumes have been anime accurate, yet also rugged enough to go through what they're doing,
Yeah.
which no ordinary
And they
cosplayer could
don't look
probably pull off.
they don't look clean.
Yeah.
That's the bigger thing. They don't look clean. They look like they have been worn, like they are going through crap.
Yeah.
You know, they look dusty. They look old. They look run down, ragged.
Yeah.
So costume design absolutely on point. You know, and the only issue that I had was Daniela Daniela pushing back on the stupidity of the original costume. That's about like
Mm. If she defended the choices of the studio and presumably her choices because she'd have had some involvement in the costume design because they'd have had to tailor it to her. If she defended it differently or in a different way, I don't think the controversy would have
no,
followed
I don't.
her and the show
No,
as followed her and the show as harshly as it has.
no, not at
It
all.
would still have followed her. It would still have followed her because there is a loud vocal sector of the fandom that will of any fandom that gets an adaptation where they'll go, you changed it, now it's ruined.
Although
And
I do
I
think,
disagree with that in some cases because there are some instances where changing something makes it better for that medium
mhm, I
or
do
even
think,
correcting something.
I do think that she could probably lose the stockings and be a little bit more
Mm.
faithful that way.
Yeah.
Just show a little bit more leg. It's like it's not really that big of a deal. Like everything else is pretty all right. Just show a little bit more leg.
I
Not really
mean,
a big deal,
if
especially in a show that has no problem showing tits and
with
ass
nudity, yeah,
It,
and
I was about to
strippers
say
and
S&M.
that was a that's the choice that confuses me when they first initially talk about Faye's costume being too much sexualizing a the sexual objectification of a main character. um and we've already had that with John Cho with his shirt off for the ladies and the guys
Yeah.
who like that. But when they're talking about that being the main impetus to get her out of such a revealing costume, and then they go about introducing drug workers who are naked at the table, that has me confused about their messaging.
yeah. And then they have and in this episode they have a stripper training scene
Yeah.
where yes,
Well,
the stripper isn't
well,
completely
I,
like the stripper isn't naked. She's fully
she
clothed.
she might not even be a stripper. She might just be a cabaret dance,
Yeah, maybe.
which is
But
fair.
I mean, it's a
Very provocative dance.
Yes, it is. It's
they're
still
not
provocative.
shying away from being sexy.
Yeah.
So there should be no real reason for Daniela to shy away from being sexy at all. Especially since there's other work that she's done where she's done exactly that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Does but I mean, it works.
Yeah. It works for what character they've put on the screen.
Yeah.
I still hesitate to call that character Faye.
Yeah, me neither.
The broad strokes of her origin seem to be the same. The
Yeah.
fine details we're finding out are different.
Mhm. I think this
So
might be
when
a
they,
good time for us to have Fanta put down his headphones and not listen to us, so we can
yeah,
really have the comparison between the two.
Oh yeah,
Okay. I shall
this
do
might be
that
Yeah.
cool.
right now. So you can now talk.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So, at least we didn't have the devolution to monkeys.
I don't know. I think that would have been more
I d-
fun.
that would have been more fun, but it wouldn't have made
I mean,
sense in the very realistic take that they've used, and it would have looked god awful because even with 7 million per episode, I think that would stretch the limits of their SFX budget.
yeah, I do too. It would have been a nightmare to actually put together. So that change I
Um,
can certainly understand.
yeah. I
Still a
also, yeah. Oh yeah,
horrifying
they
way to
got
die.
they kept the body horror element,
Yeah,
but it wasn't fatal before, whereas it is now.
yeah, and the other thing is they really hammered in the gore of it.
Yeah,
Just the
which
maybe not the disgusting factor, but
yeah, I
the
mean
finality of this they really hammered
yes,
down, and visually it was spectacular. Honestly,
yeah. The SFX house that worked on this, bravo. Um, but if they had tried to do what the original anime did, yeah, I don't think they could have pulled that off. What they
probably
did
not.
instead was a good um, fallback position.
Yeah, and I mean, if they decide to try to do live monkeys, that'd just be a nightmare. That'd probably be the cheapest
But
way to do it, but it would be an
yeah,
absolute nightmare.
like where? Because yeah, I can only imagine that because it was difficult enough to get Harry the Welsh corgi to play Ein and do things right because he kept fucking up on scene. Um, you
Anytime you
need
have
to
live
when
animals on set, it's a
oh
it's
so
a
for
trial.
example yeah it's a trial but you'd think being a Welsh corgis are really intelligent, really trainable, but Harry is either very young or has a trainer that isn't particularly strict because he kept going off script all the time based on the outtakes because he has an entire outtakes video dedicated to him.
Nice. um,
So yeah, the dog napping sequence with Faye just looking at him as a near 2 to 5 million, was it, Wulong meal?
yeah.
Um, that was pretty weird, especially as I think she was scared of him in the original. I can't remember. I
Yeah,
know
she
that
just
Spike,
avoided him
yeah,
like the
yeah,
plague.
she avoided him. I know that it feels weird to see Spike at ease with Ein at the minute because there are three things, obviously, that Spike hates: tomboys,
Well, women,
animals, yeah,
children,
women,
and dog
children.
and animals.
Well, it depends. If you go with the dub, he says women.
Okay.
If you go with the Japanese, he says tomboys.
Okay.
It's both talking about Faye,
Yeah.
animals and children. Um,
Which we
sadly,
haven't gotten that line yet.
yeah, we
Like
haven't we haven't
that's a
got them that.
staple line that he
That's a
uses
staple line.
3 times at
Yeah,
least.
we're not going to get to that point, sadly, because for all the will in the world, this show got this show was raised up on by its production team, by its cast, by its crew. Netflix pulled the plug because they clearly weren't going to make their investment back, and that's a shame because I think um, the actors they had lined up for some of the characters we haven't seen yet, that had been informed that they were going to be in this, including a certain 13-year-old. It's a shame for them.
But this should really serve as a lesson that Netflix should
This
just
should serve.
stop doing.
They're not going to. We've still got
Adaptations.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And it's gonna
We've
flop
still got
just as
One
hard.
Piece.
It's gonna flop just as hard. And what's bad is like there are good points to it, but you're still absolutely pissing people off.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
for instance, the ending of this episode, right?
Yeah, the end.
The ending
Oh God,
of
yeah.
the ending of the original episode, right?
Where they got caught in
They got
in
caught
slip space forever.
hyperspace.
Yeah.
Um,
And they got turned into monkeys because of the same grenade drop you get in the
yeah.
you get at the beginning in the end.
You
I
could
just
have
wish
still
that
done. You could have still done with launching missiles in hyperspace.
Yeah.
Having Faye, like Faye, actually tried to save the day.
Yeah.
In the original episode.
Yeah, she did, and she did here.
She came to the rescue.
I like.
She ran. She
Yeah.
ran as hard as she could, and in the face of adversity, she really fought back on it, and it was a really growing moment for her.
Yeah.
And Spike.
It was still fueled by her wanting a bigger share of the bounty, but
yeah.
Which I felt was weird because she accepted a 70-30 in against her favor in the live action, whereas in the original she clawed her way to a 70-30 in her favor.
Yeah. But having that race in hyperspace.
Yeah, to get out the gate before it was shut.
Having that race between Faye and Spike, trying to get out, having
before
them
the
both,
missiles,
having them both do their best, trying to save not only each other but the rest of the world,
the planet,
and still fumble a little bit, but in the end it came out okay. That is the core of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
All this fumbling and bumbling and
I mean, there are times when there are times like the episode in the original where they introduce Ed where they do succeed. That can happen. I can understand them using that as the model for the success here. I just think that it feels like it makes the gang less of a credible threat.
Yeah.
That in this instance, they succeed. The Bebop crew succeeds as well as they do, without as much panic.
Yeah. And the other thing about that was, it did some world building on how hyperspace works, because later on in the series you have another hyperspace chase.
Oh yes. That's gonna be fun. If it's definitely gonna be fun for when we watch it with Fanta. I don't know if it's gonna come up later in this series. We've only got 6 episodes to see if that happens.
Yeah. But I mean, there was reasons why they had that bit of world building about how hyperspace works, what happens if the gate gets shut off, and what happens to everything that happens after that.
Yeah.
And again, it really starts that camaraderie camaraderie a little bit between the
Yeah.
whole group.
Cool. I want to address something else that's a bit of an elephant in the room with regards Faye. And that's the relationship she has with somebody in the series who was part of her defrosting. And how that relationship has been changed in this series so far.
Yeah.
So we've gone to her male lover who saddled her with even more debt than she already had, to a fake mom who has since stolen everything that wasn't nailed down by getting power of attorney.
And I think that actually works pretty well.
It works well, but I think the change in dynamic is potentially going to be less impactful.
That is true
Oh, hey,
because
hey,
the original
Fanta's
one
hand.
was like, huh?
Oh, Fanta's hand was at his mic, turning it off.
Um, the con man that she was eloping with, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
The con man.
Well, she thought she was.
Yeah, that dynamic was.
I think
I I also think that that dynamic was almost inconsequential, and that's why I
the
think
thing is,
that.
I think it drives a lot of her character development in the original series. I'm worried that the change in dynamic will make whatever they decide to reveal about Faye's past, whatever they decide to uh, reveal about Faye becoming, if she does becoming the card shark Alice,
Yeah, that would make
that's
sense.
that's going to be interesting to navigate for the show if they address it.
And unfortunately,
Um,
I don't think they will be able to because she's already on
yeah,
the
but
Bebop. Like the whole origin
the,
story is gone.
I mean, yeah, so far she doesn't appear to be the compulsive liar and gambler that we we know and love from the original.
And the
So I feel that her
she was
background's been
definitely more
changed.
about the suaveness
Mm.
about getting information, right?
Oh yeah,
She
femme
only used
fatale style.
she only used her gun sparingly.
Yeah,
In the live action version, she's already shot and killed a couple people.
yeah. And
And
she threatened to blow the guy's nuts off
yeah,
pretty blatantly. That's not her style.
that
From
definitely
the
wasn't
well,
her
not
style.
the original style. Yeah, definitely the style of the character that they've got on screen, but not the style of the Faye Valentine that longtime fans have in their heads from the original show or from their memories.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how are they gonna bother trying to do that origin episode when she's already on the Bebop.
I mean, we
I
know
don't
that
think
she's
she
going to
can,
go. I think
but
they're definitely going to have her face this mother character who has replaced the man who was going to elope and then faked his death to get out of it and leave her saddled with all the debts. I think it would be stupid of them to have an actor cast in the role of the mum and have her have an if not on screen, but still off camera appearance with her voice.
Yeah.
It would be silly not to have an episode dedicated to her on screen later.
Yeah. Although with this not getting a season 2, we might not ever see that.
We might not see that.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to bring back Fanta now.
I think it is. You want to ping
Yep.
him? And...
Right, pinged, and almost time to put ourselves through episode 5. Oh boy,
Slow as she
why are we
goes.
doing this?
That's all right.
Scary thing is, I've seen worse adaptations,
Oh yeah.
which came from the same position of love. I've seen Fist of the North Star live action. I've seen, yeah, the Hollywood Fist of the North Star. I've seen, yeah, it was Hollywood, but it was low budget as hell. I've seen the Guyver movies, which, funnily enough, were still fucking entertaining. I've seen Dragon Ball Evolution, where I know that Fox was the reason it was so foxed up. Somehow, this has its own charm. It's a so bad it's still funny, at least at points. Oh, Fanta messaging us that he'll be back. He's just not on camera yet. Oh, hello.
But yeah, it definitely has its own little bit of charm. And
Hello.
Hello.
welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah. So the show definitely has its charm. It's better than some adaptations we've encountered.
That's for sure.
Quite a few.
And at the same time, it's worse than some
It's
adaptations
still,
I've seen.
yes.
It is its own problematic set to critique. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason
And
why we're here is put the hammer down when
to
it's
get is it? I thought it was to get views because pain equals views.
there. Well, apparently not.
It works for some channels.
Maybe I've just been too dormant.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Anyway, episode 5. Oh boy. Alright, starting episode 5 in 3, 2, 1. Let's jam.
Sepia flashback.
How could you tell? Was it the gray lighting? Or, yeah.
Oh wow. Oh no.
I find it very interesting that they decide that a flashback requires an extremely old vehicle, despite the fact that when this is taken, like when this takes place, it's 200 plus years in the future. Yeah,
Well, some of these extremely old vehicles would be extremely valuable. Also, did you notice who he fingers for the bad cop?
yeah.
I'm I'm triggered by their trigger discipline.
It's interesting that we're this far into the series.
They jumped quite far, didn't they?
Oh yeah. I do like the actors. The actors are close.
Yeah.
It only took me seeing the glasses and the face.
Yep.
Like, it was a decently close.
Visual casting, anyway. Yeah.
I felt those.
Yeah.
The more I watch this opening, the more it pisses me off. I swear to God.
Because you're seeing more characters and more episodes that they've taken to adapt in the show. And you're worried about how those are going to get ruined.
No,
I don't know, the more I watch it, the less professional this opening seems to me.
yeah.
Yeah. Metal Cooler actually described it as it looks like one of those YouTube fan remakes in cosplay of an opening.
I think you did a, it was Sal. I think
Yeah.
Sal did a better job with the one that he made for us.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be naked. I thought that's what it was implying.
Shower, bath, shower.
That takes way too long.
To be fair, technically, that is how you clean yourself in Japan.
Really?
Because
Oh.
yeah, because the furo is meant for you to soak in.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
Triggered.
this is the guy that cost him his career
Start
and
screaming.
his arm. Technically. One way to force an interaction pairing. The big shot sequence is still amazingly accurate.
I like it.
And not just for the cleavage.
They really did their best on his prosthetic.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Damn indeed.
Now it all makes
Very.
sense. Although that's
Who did he call? Huh. Breaking out the suit.
nice way to hide that he's only wearing the glove. And yeah, I guess you're right. If I was still around in 200 plus years, I'd probably try to be restoring really old cars too. So I guess that makes sense.
Mm.
It just it's weird.
We got a weird comment.
Hank, really? That's what you want me to do?
I'm gonna guess right now. It's that guy.
What makes
It's
you
my
think
guess.
that?
I don't know. This is how it always goes. It's the person you're with and you trust the most. It's always the one who betrays you.
Also, where's the hammerhead?
They've. It appears that they've got rid of the hammerhead.
And we haven't seen Phase ship. I forgot what the name of it was.
To be fair, the swordfish and the bebop are the truly iconic ones in this.
And that's fair. But the hammerhead, I mean,
Shows up a lot.
all the ships are iconic on their own. Said neither of them ever.
Yep. Well, this much is accurate. Them disagreeing.
You for what? Shoot where? They tried to choke me before. You know, it's kind of scary.
Ironic, considering.
At best of 3.
They're never getting off this ship, are they?
Nice observation.
Nice. Well, there goes his bounty choice. Oh, wow. Okay.
That was pretty good.
That's good. That's good. That's
I don't do that no more.
worst hidden compartment ever. Oh,
Oh, okay, I guess.
$80,000 per tooth. What kind of economy is this?
Damn, what was that shit?
Whatever it was pretty smoky.
Opium?
Oof.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Why was there opium in? You don't like dirt?
Okay, that's the costume cut from the anime. That much revealed skin.
Ugh.
Not sure if that would ever happen, but okay. I guess whose dick is bigger is funny.
It kind of suits this take on Faye.
Yeah.
I also love the stealth hint to how her top was cut in the anime.
Tupperware is still a thing in the future.
Lots of very old stuff.
mean, it is retro futurism in the original. But damn. Oy. Ooh.
What do you mean by sing for me? Did she? I'm pretty sure that was literal.
Julia's a singer in this.
Or why was that a tall ask?
She's a retired singer. You Oh no. I think that's dog abuse. Seriously, look at the poor thing.
I know, right?
I'll talk.
Are they ever gonna go out for a bounty?
Nope.
Damn, that's a lot of alcohol they've gone through. Oh,
That's just fucking weird.
it's just I reiterate my somebody seems to have watched too many um sitcoms.
Yeah. Hey, Fanta, you got a light in there?
Oh,
Yeah.
you can tell me.
There you go.
Go. Now we can see your reaction. I don't see any busted locks.
What did Jet originally shoot?
Can't remember.
I feel like I'm watching a horror movie something.
Oh, that's a different episode that they may or may not get to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Jet never used a revolver.
Yeah.
You're... I totally called that.
Come on, Jet, double tap.
Doesn't look like he needs to at this point. That's a lot of blood.
Yeah, he's not a main character. He doesn't have plot armor, so.
Yeah. Hi, Chalmers. Damn. This is a very interesting and different dynamic to the original version of this story.
Hmm.
He did win the bet.
Interesting.
This is where she finds out Spike's alive, I'm guessing.
That looks tasty.
Oh. She's put it together herself. What a waste of alcohol.
Remember y'all talking about that on the episode of Kimetsu no Yaiba? He just drops the plate, and you're like, oh my god, people need to stop dropping things just because they're surprised. They're like,
Yeah.
just drop it.
It's a pretty traditional trope.
Yep.
Now,
So,
the weirder thing is like, because she has to open her hands so
Yeah.
wide to do so, it just makes it unbelievable. That's the
Yeah.
problem, like, with the
yeah,
whole dropping of the plate in general, right?
yeah.
Because
Mm.
I can see it
I
just
don't
slipping
see.
out
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
that. You don't have to move
Mm.
the hand.
yeah. Involuntary reactions like that do not cause such a big motion that you would be required to make to drop that kind of whiskey glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, needs
Okay, 'cause-
must, trope must be adhered to, so that's what they did. We need the penny, and in this case, the penny was the whiskey to drop.
Because I've done that to myself before. Mostly
Yeah.
like with bottles or I've rarely ever broken anything.
Yeah.
But just being lost in thought and you completely lose track of you're holding something and your hand
Yeah.
just loses your grip and it just drops. And the dropping certainly snaps me out of whatever mind fog I was in. So that trope does happen and it does
It happens, but not like that.
but not like that. And
Yeah.
that's more of a that's more of a Hollywood annoyance. Like that's more of a trope annoyance in general, not
Oh.
really against the show
Yeah.
on its own. It is annoying though.
Oh god, yeah. That's not how it works.
That's not how any of this works.
It was actually an interesting episode.
Yeah.
I
That
was
was,
interested
yeah.
in getting a vet's partial backstory, I guess, because that's not his entire
Yeah.
life. So
It's not the entire backstory. It's certainly mostly true to the anime's telling in terms of events. Not necessarily the exact same players, because Chalmers is a Netflix creation.
what's
But
his Chalmers
a
again?
similar idea. It's a similar idea, huh?
Wait, who's Chalmers again?
Chalmers
Chalmers
is the
is the. I'm guessing when Jet went to prison for Hakeem's
for
original uh,
yeah.
original thing. When he went to prison for 5 years, his wife got with Chalmers.
Yes.
Oh, it's the new husband. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
and
new
then
husband or boy toy. We're not 100% sure at this point,
Boy
but
toy.
he's the cop who, in this particular instance, has been on Jet's side against his better judgment, and his own interests, because the woman he's with still has some feelings or respect for Jet. That's why he threw um, Jet the bone of sending him the Asimov bounty before it went on the airwaves. That's why he let Jet go in this particular episode. I
Yes, this
think
is
he's
why so weird.
yeah. I think
and I do
he's
think that
being
there might
used
be
as
a little bit
yeah,
of a respect from Chalmer,
yeah,
um,
because
because
it's a shame we haven't figured had an explanation for why he was called the Mad Dog. We did get the nickname from Woodcock. Oh my god, that cougar scares the hell out of me. Um,
Oh God, her. Oh.
yeah, we got his nickname from her, but we haven't had an explanation for why. We do in the original anime get the explanation for why he was called the Mad Dog. This illustrates roughly how Jet was ended up losing his career as an officer.
which
Um,
deviates
a bit
a bit from
from
the
the
original.
original, but I think in broad strokes it covers most of the bases. Um, and it covers what it does cover is covered well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
definitely agree with that. It's
yeah,
surprising that they're doing good jobs for certain things, but other things
yeah.
they're doing a terrible job, and
I think
it's hard to.
the yeah, it's hard to figure out um what is just a bad decision or a misunderstanding of the original series when they do go wrong. I don't think any of it is a malicious thing. I think it's either
In the case of whatever Faye and Spike was doing in this particular case, I think that's a
Yeah.
malicious
You think
character
that's what-
destruction of Spike.
um, but yeah, doing the B plot has been weird, but it's building up to something that does happen in the anime. Though I'm still confused as to why they introduced Julia to all of that, because she doesn't show up until on camera until really towards the end of the series. So showing Julia up this early, and introducing her as part of Vicious's plot has been weird. I agree with Fanta. Why was her singing such a big deal? Because despite the fact that it's been hinted that she used to sing in Anna's club and has not wanted to ever since, but we haven't been given a reason why, so it doesn't feel like it was such a big deal for her to sing.
Yeah. Other than Vicious is just that much of a control freak, or
Yeah, he is. It's either Vicious is that much of a control freak, or there was honestly something going on that would have triggered Julia, and he was being protective of her, or both. But we don't have the context for that.
yeah.
Does Vicious have a wife in the anime?
No.
No. Okay. Would he?
Um,
Would he be the type of person to ever have a
Are-
wife?
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Arguably, it's intimated that Vicious and Julia had a relationship at some point in the original anime, but it's way in the past,
Huh.
before her and Spike. This is an inversion of the original anime. That's a bit of a that's throwing you for a loop, isn't it, Fanta?
A little bit.
I mean, I can see why the decision was made to add drama to the script, but it does feel that they're shoehorning her in a bit too much without care for how that impacts the B plot.
Hmm. The thing though, she was a lot calmer talking to Vincent than I would be after he
Vicious.
choked me last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Though her figuring out that Spike, or as far as she's concerned, Fearless, oh god, I hate that nickname, is still alive. That is that could play out interestingly in this take.
Hmm.
Because again, her introduction into the current time part of the plot isn't for ages in the anime.
Mhm. I'm getting very tired, so I might only be able to do one more.
Okay, we'll let Zero know when he gets back.
Oh, there he is.
Cool.
Sick web.
So you know,
Um,
Zero. I'm getting pretty tired, so I'll probably only be able to do one more.
Oh yeah, we'll only be able to do one more anyway.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
cool. Yeah, because work and stuff.
Yes.
Fortunately,
Unfortunately,
Rizzo couldn't
Right.
make it this time.
I have a hard time limit.
Yeah. It's a shame Rizzo couldn't be back in time for this. Unless he suddenly shows up, summoned by name. I mean, it almost happened last time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess we'll move on to episode 6. And there's another 40-minute long one.
have it ready.
Same.
All right.
I don't think I'm ready, but I've got the video ready.
Yeah. I'm torn, literally torn. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Well, bullying yourself.
Jet would never allow this to happen.
The anime Jet apparently was a mechanic. This is his mechanic in the live action. Bebop was never this badly maintained. It was a hunk of junk, but it was never this badly maintained. Hello again, B-plot. So Ed is not appearing on screen in this adaptation.
Yeah, sure.
Speak about railguns.
It's not how a gun is put together.
Considering it's not a traditional chemical firing pistol. Wow, very different composition.
I'm not sure I like this rendition. It's a little off.
A little bit.
I mean, Yoko Kanno is amazing, but she's got to have a dud in her once in a while.
I definitely did not like that.
I didn't like that either.
That's not. Yikes. Yeah, least favorite tank comp so far.
Knew it. I was waiting.
Kinky. Yeah, that's weird.
Only nice section.
Yeah. Very fucking weird.
Why did I think she would
Wow,
say that?
that's that was smooth as hell.
It was definitely smooth. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
Ooh, 4D printing. Illuminati. It's a little creepy.
Oh boy. totally not an indoctrination tool.
Mm. 90 minutes.
What?
But I feel like he's still in the.
I I agree with you. I think he's going through a bit of a trip.
Face just opens up and eats him. That's maybe jump just a little bit. I don't know why. As it turns out, he's still in the chair. Yep, probably.
Yep.
Deja vu.
And let's say, here we go.
No, no. Well, shit.
Beats button. What was this doing?
Is that a parasite? Ew.
Not sure.
Oh my.
Ew.
Surely he's gotten the idea that something's wrong when he has two helmets on his bike when he only had one.
Yeah, I know, right? It's interesting little visual touches that they do.
Yeah. Well, good thing that he has a partner who's looking out for him.
This time?
See that they're all shot.
Yeah.
Why? Why did it feel like his lip wasn't moving in conjunction with his voice? Like he was speaking at a different, like he was lagging or something?
Just to talk, huh?
Just to talk. Oh, this is something different.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay. kind of is.
Hmm. This is a weird twist on. Weird twist on the original. That's for sure.
I mean, I could see it potentially not conflicting with the original, but that wasn't the focal point of the Faye character.
Eh.
What's weird is this conversation would probably go way different if it actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why it's going different is the different backstories. Well, the simulation's falling apart because he's fighting back hard, allegedly. It's actually a really good effect. It's a really good story effect. an artifice. It's just I'd have thought he'd have figured it out by now.
What the fuck? Not gonna lie, I probably had the same reaction. Like, what? Excuse me? You're fucking the mechanic? Why?
That is a lot more like how it should be.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god, it's the guys from the Matrix. Yeah, this is the Matrix, basically.
This is, yeah.
Man, you all suck at aiming, let me tell you what.
You all suck at aiming, and you're firing 6-shooters as if they were 12-round
And Winchester light
magazines.
rifle.
Yeah. What the hell?
Well, it's not real, right? It's all fake, so we can look over that.
This is actually one of the few times where Hollywood gunfire is appropriate.
The computer did not know who he was fucking with. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
It's like, wait. Did he say Earth
Yeah,
earlier?
yes.
Huh. That's a departure.
Woo!
Oh.
My t-shirt contest?
He needs danger money, this mechanic. She really does.
Damn.
Think I think it's gonna cost a lot more than
Oh, it's pretty
15K to fix this.
Can I just shoot it?
Ouch. Oh, that
Oh,
sucks.
that gun. Huh.
Oh, nice callback.
Yep. Jet, get out the way. Awesome but impractical gun.
Yeah.
Nice to know that if the power's off, they automatically release.
Well, no, the power here couldn't be cut off. You had to cut it off at the.
Oh, not all the power's off, just okay.
Yeah.
The poor people.
Oh. To be fair, it's gone through hell and back in
Yeah.
the original anime. It's just in the original anime, Jet didn't need a mechanic. Like you said, he'd never have let anyone touch it.
Bell peppers and
Special
beef?
bell peppers and beef? Yeah. Mm. Please don't hurt Ed.
I'm glad I'm okay too.
Lies. Ahem.
Here's my Facebook, my Twitter, my YouTube.
Interesting, weird shot.
Why are there noodles in that? I didn't think they could afford noodles as well.
Of course, he didn't actually let go.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Why to smile?
That's Did the director tell him to make that face?
Uh,
See, there's the
In keeping with some of the special episodes, a slightly different ending.
yeah.
I see.
So it depends on depends on the episode, but occasionally some very special ones in the original anime had something other than "See You, Space Cowboy." And pretty appropriate that they went for the real folk blues for this one.
Yeah.
Posted in the Discord.
Yeah, I know why. Why?
It's so free. He almost looks like an entirely different person.
It really does.
It's the same actor, but somehow um so is that gonna be part of the new thumbnail for part 3 of this watch along?
Definitely.
It works so well.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Hearst Vincent. Or Vicious.
Vicious. Yes, vicious.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that was definitely weird. That was for sure.
I mean, this episode really brought the B plot to the fore as far as Spike is concerned.
Yeah. How much did we
And
even get of the other
Weird thing
plot?
is like that whole
it's
bit in the original series, like there was it was a tech cult, but it was like an actual like
Actual
yeah.
AI?
I mean the main guy had I think he had turned himself into an AI or something like that.
Yeah, he had uploaded his consciousness because he felt that it was the next stage of evolution
Mm.
and they had to take down the AI. So Dr. Lundis started as a real character in the original and became that AI thing. This
Yes,
I
very
haven't
totally convincing
I
AI.
just I don't remember this episode that well because it has been years since I've seen it and I haven't got that far yet in my own rewatch.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah.
But
So I'm foggy on the original's details. So I'm not gonna. I don't think it would be fair for me to try and analyze this as a comparison with the original anime.
Surely you all remember this face, right? Surely.
I I, I I'm not gonna.
There's no way you could forget that.
Uh, yeah, it'll be tough to forget. Is that meant to be Vicious he's playing, or is it meant to be the Joker? Because
Yeah,
I'm
because the amount
confused
of
as to which it is.
times,
Yeah,
the amount of times that Spike or Vicious smile could be counted on one hand.
yeah. Uh,
Between the two of them.
between the two of them, yeah,
Like the amount of times either character even gave a smirk could be counted on my hands.
yeah,
Between the two of them,
yes.
like, seeing them smile
I mean, I can
is
see
unnatural on
moments
its
where,
own.
yeah, I can see this version of Spike being more smiley than his anime counterpart. Um,
I don't
Yeah,
see Vicious though.
I can see this version.
yeah,
I can see
I'm,
this version of Vicious being that way and just being that
yeah.
maniacally.
Yeah, I'm evil.
It's just it doesn't feel in keeping with the characterization of the original Japanese take in the anime. It
Yeah,
feels like we're seeing two separate characters who share a lot of similarities in the case of Spike, but not enough that they could be anywhere near identical. And in the case of Vicious, he's been fleshed out so much that he couldn't possibly compare to the cipher that we got in the original series.
yeah.
Like the smile is very similar to when he answered the call and went moshi moshi.
Oh God, I'm I I hope to God I don't remember that scene when I'm rewatching the end of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, boy.
The Real Folk Blues parts 1 and 2 will not be the same again if I can't get that moshi moshi out of my head.
Oh
FYI, that's the title of the two-parter that completes the series.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
That is
talking
it.
about like the
The real,
people
the
one.
real folk.
The
No,
real folk
the real
blues was the ending theme song, and it was the
and
ending title
title.
for
Yeah,
the arc that
for
finished
the
up the series.
finale. Yeah, yeah,
Um, they certainly nailed what should have happened in the last episode
yeah,
with the bebop. Like the feeling of mashing things together and getting it to work just
yeah,
barely enough to get the job done is, like I said, the core of the fucking show.
yeah.
And seeing
The
that
thing
happen
is,
at the end of this with
mm,
with the bebop barely being able to fly.
mm,
That was nice. I just wish it would
yeah.
happen in every other episode like it should.
I'm also a little disappointed that they gave Mustafa Shakir less to work with Jet because Jet appears to have had an IQ drop in the live action, written for the sake of laughs. And that's because in the original anime, he's far more cultured, far more educated. He's a bit of a savant. He knows his way around all sorts of topics, including he's the one who, on a shoestring budget, is able to cook delicious meals and keep the bebop and the swordfish and the hammerhead all running.
Yeah.
He's very downgraded, nerfed, if you will, in this series in terms of his skill set and his intelligence, and I think that ends up giving Shakir less to work with. He does feel like Jet Black when the show lets him be, but with this example where they had to introduce a mechanic
Within fuck Faye.
to yeah to do that and to play up the comedy of he doesn't know what he's doing with his own ship. I think that was a problem.
And
That's a problem that is causing Shakir to not perform to his best. And he's a great actor in
and
what I've
here,
seen
here's the
for
other thing.
before.
Here's the other thing about that: being the captain of a ship. Period.
You need to know
You need
your
to know
ship.
your ship in and out. You need to know how to fix it. You need to know the people on it. You need to know who to call.
You need to know how to shake it down, prep
If
it for
you
flight.
the only way that you could get away with not understanding a ship is to be filthy rich.
Filthy
Which
rich and have somebody employed in the role of ship's engineer.
yes,
Not
which
that he
is
could, not that
definitely
the Bebop
not.
crew can ever afford it.
Yeah, definitely not something that the Bebop is gonna do, ever.
Yeah.
They're always strapped for cash. They're always literally
Yeah. And
on a
it's
hairstring
implied even,
budget.
yeah, it's implied in the original series that the Bebop is many, many years beyond its expected service time.
It's an old fishing vessel.
Yeah. It's an
It,
old fishing vessel that has been
literally,
repurposed.
yeah,
It's basically the Millennium Falcon,
yeah, pretty
only
much.
in worse condition.
And similar to the fate of the Millennium Falcon, Bebop is taking a similar fate.
Yeah.
It is in the hands of people who don't understand the dynamics of the series that it's in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even throwing that much money and being able to just squander it away because this is not something that a fan is going to enjoy.
I mean, some fans I can see enjoying this for its own sake, but
You have to
if
be a
you
really
have in the
open-minded
constant,
fan.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have to be
Very
really,
open-minded.
yeah. And even I admit that going into this, while I was probably the most open-minded of the people on in the channel who was prepping for the for this show, uh,
I've seen the series since I haven't.
who had seen the series. Even I had my reservations, despite the fact I was standing for it because, oh, John Cho's involved. I know he's going to get this done. I know that he's going to get this done.
Yeah, we
And
had
then
an argument about that.
we had an argument about that.
Actually, I think I remember
And
that.
yeah, yeah. And now I'm going, John Cho's
Zero's right.
is one of the few things that's helping save this from being an utter shit show.
And
Um,
unfortunately, it's still succeeding at being another shit show.
yeah,
The,
it's
the only like the
With good
saving
moments.
one,
graces
yeah,
of it is the visuals. That's
the
literally it.
visuals and the clear attempt by the cast to
Yeah.
try and make uh to sew a silk purse out of this pig shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically the actors are not at all where my criticisms go
Yeah.
so far.
But
definitely not.
on screen, they're not our criticisms.
Now, I think it
Outside of Pineda's social media
Fine.
response, yeah,
and
Pineda on screen is fine for what she's being given to do. Pineda on social media was a problem.
Yes. And I think John Cho was similar when he came out and was like, I'm not even gonna. I've seen the show. I've seen clips of the show. I'm not gonna watch it. And then when
Well,
the fan base turned on him and was like, hey, you need to watch this. You need to pay attention. You need to actually understand the show. He did,
yeah,
and that
yeah,
I commend him for it.
yeah.
But for and my criticisms at the time was because at the time he was
He'd been told
avidly
not to
against.
poison his. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was told not to watch the show because it would potentially uh, poison his performance.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
didn't
the
make any
thing
sense
is,
to me.
it if you're trying to make something new
Hmm.
and different from the original and trying to differentiate yourself from the original, it can make sense. But in this instance, where they are almost slavish to several aspects of the original, no, it does not. Particularly with how slavish they are to the emotional background for Spike, even if it's not the same historical plot background,
Hmm.
the emotional background is still there. That I can at least applaud from the writing.
And I can kind of see that, but like the great thing about Cowboy Bebop is like with that first with that first run in with the red eye, right?
But yeah,
You nailed it. In the
yeah,
original show, at the very end of that heist, right?
yeah.
Everything that was verbally said in the live action was passed between Spike and what's her name in the
And
anime.
Katarina, yeah.
In just a look, just a
Mm.
Show
simple
not
face
tell.
gesture, a
Yeah,
simple
it
face
was.
gesture, a simple look, and a shaking head, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
very much show, not tell.
It was silent character acting on uh on a masterclass level.
And that's the majority of the emotion that you get from Spike. It's just
Yeah,
a sigh. It's just a look. It's just a shift change in his mannerism.
but it was
It's
a
like he'd go,
single subtle action
yeah, like
spell the story of a
being
thousand
all
words.
really tense and set up for a fight, and then all of a sudden, that tells so much.
Yes, or
You
at least
don't,
it did with the anime.
yeah,
It's tougher to do that in live action because there's less control over the exact camera angle, the exact lighting, the exact facial and body expressions of the act. You can get close to that, but in reality, there's so much trickery you have to pull off to get that exact shot. That's why a lot of anime gets made. It's um, at least back in the 80s, it was art house cinematographers and directors who could not get a budget for what they wanted to do, so they went to animation.
yeah,
And Shinjiro Watanabe is cut from that cloth, and you could tell because almost every story arc, almost every episode is a parody of something from Japanese cinema and pop culture.
right.
Um, because Westerners are involved in this, I don't think they're getting some of those emotional hits, some of those visual beats that they get outside of their trying to nail a look.
Right. And even with the lesbian scene, right?
I can see
I could
OG
see it.
Faye
I could see
being
it happening.
being a yeah I can see her being bi. I can see her being potentially being a lesbian and using the whole seduction femme fatale thing to get an in with the people she's trying to dupe.
Right.
I can see that.
And
It
I
was
don't
never
think
explicit,
it was never really. I don't think it's an issue.
it's
It's
never
simply just
intended.
weird.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like the nudity scene. It's just like the
yeah,
nude drug makers. It's just weird
yeah,
and it doesn't.
yeah.
It kind of throws you off on the wrong foot.
It's it's kind of crazy that there's so much sexless nudity in this.
I mean, a lot of Western shows really push that
No, but
agenda nowadays.
sexless nudity.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
That's what gets me in that it's not part of a sex scene, love scene, whatever you want to call it. It's just there for the sake of it being there.
Yeah.
Like uh the drug den thing. The drug manufacturing. Like um the signage that we have John Cho leaning back and smoking a cigarette while while uh
that was pretty good.
Upside
upside down.
resting in between two tits. Resting in between a pair of tits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
that was
it's an
excellent.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing visual imagery and a perfect encapsulation of the Spike relaxed in all situations
yeah,
image.
I just wish that spike
Well,
would just keep going.
yeah.
It's like that spike mixed with the actual fighting that Cho has done. That's the spike I'm familiar with. That's the spike
Yeah.
that Cowboy
That's the
Bebop is
Steve
known
that's
for.
yeah, that's the Steve Bloom performance Spike. Like I said, there's a bit more vulnerability, there's a bit more um there's a bit more subtle reluctance in the Japanese take on Spike.
Hmm.
But generally speaking, most people who are watching this will have watched the Cartoon Network dub because it's an amazing dub. And your take, Zero, on your image of Spike, that was Steve Bloom's. That's the quintessential one for most people,
Yeah,
at least in the English speaking world.
right.
Oh, wow. Ryu's just said he's available now just as Fanta's about to stop.
Oh no.
I mean, Zero also said that
Yeah,
he's
Zero
Zero,
asking
said.
to be able
your
to do.
time's about to cut. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn
about to go.
timing. Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, Ryu.
yeah, sorry, bro.
Maybe on part three?
Maybe on part three.
Maybe
We
on
still
part
gotta
three. We'll
finish
try.
this fucking thing.
Yes.
I called him Vincent again. What's wrong with me? I don't know why Vincent is the name that gets stuck in my head.
I
It's a
mean,
nice background to get there.
maybe you played
Oh, no.
maybe you
Oh,
played
what?
Final Fantasy VII recently.
I haven't actually.
Vincent
Wait,
Valentine.
17?
7.
Oh,
Seven.
7. I was like 17. I was like, what?
7 recently. Yeah.
No, I actually never played that, personally.
Okay. But yeah, there's a character in that called Vincent Valentine.
Okay. I just because Vincent's more of a name than Vicious is, so yeah.
Hey,
That's
the
probably why.
whole thing about Vicious is, like I said, he was meant to be a cipher. He's meant to be. We don't know much about him. It could very well be a nom de guerre, but his real name wouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Spike's legal name is Fearless either, so.
No, but in the
Interestingly
original,
enough,
Spike has always been in the original. Spike has always been Spike. It is
Okay.
his legal name.
Okay.
In this one, they're using it as he's created the Spike Spiegel persona as an alias, and that's all Jet Black has ever known him as.
in the original, Fearless as a name didn't exist.
Yeah. Or if it did, it was so unimportant it was never used.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it could be that it was in Shinichiro Watanabe's notes that was the original intention. We'll never know. But my personal opinion is it looks like they threw most of the notes in the trash.
Yeah, pretty much.
It would be
It's-
interesting to see just what Sunrise, Watanabe, and Co. actually handed over,
Yeah.
It would
just
be
to see
interesting.
what it would be interesting to know what he offered up, even for fans of the original series, because there was so much still unexplained. And that includes the final message of the show, which is left up to the viewer. And I'm not going to say any more on that because Fanta hasn't
Yeah.
seen it and he needs to see that blind.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm curious. So when I do see it, would y'all want me to watch the dub or the sub?
Either is good,
You would
but
probably watch
most
the
people
dub.
are familiar with the dub.
Dub? Okay. Then I'll do the dub.
Most people are familiar with the dub, and the dub is a classic.
Okay.
But if we want to go with the Japanese,
I'm
we
fine
can.
going with the dub. I know I'm
The
usually the
Japanese,
guy who's just like,
yeah,
nah, I'm sub, but
yeah,
I know
yeah.
if it
No, I
does
mean
really good, then
the
I'm for it.
the dub is fantastic. The Japanese is fantastic. Most Westerners are more familiar with the dub.
There are very few animes where I would recommend the dub over the sub.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In this case, because of how the voice acting was done, and like I believe, I believe they said that they were kind of, they were almost winging it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were winging it. They hadn't the actors who were brought in were given the script. They didn't even see the footage. They just got timings.
But what they
And
did
so,
with that was phenomenal. It was one of the best
yeah,
dubs. It's a classic dub, and it really made a lot of Western people love
In
the
it
anime.
put
show.
Steve Bloom on the map. It put Steve Bloom on the map so hard. He ended up getting the Wolverine role for the original '90s X-Men series over it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean this one, Trigun's a really good one. Helsing's a
yeah.
really good one. Outlaw
Which Hellsing?
Star, well, Helsing, the anime.
OG.
I
Yeah,
mean,
not
there's two
Ultimate.
anime. Oh, okay,
Either
not
Yeah,
the new one.
either
Okay.
one. They all
Oh,
are
either
good.
one.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the
I
dubs that
think they
they've
brought
done
the
on
same
them,
cast back.
yeah, the dubs that they did with Helsing are fantastic. And there is like in newer anime what they did with Drifters. The dub for Drifters was
Mm.
insane. So there are rarely times where I was like, "Hey, let's watch the dub." In Cowboy Bebop's case, I've tried the sub, and a lot more. It feels a lot.
I think part of that Zero is because it's what you're familiar with. It's what you were introduced to the series with.
Yeah, this is
But
true.
at the same time, but at the
But
same time, I would say both the dub and the sub are of excellent quality to the point where you won't lose out going for one over the other.
right,
Having said that, the dub and the sub are different performances, so it's worth watching both. But I would say you don't lose anything by going dub first.
yeah, this is definitely not like Pokemon or Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh, where a lot is
With-
lost in translation.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
jelly
love
donuts,
jellyfish. Don't I get that's the one we always
Jelly-filled
go for.
donuts, yeah.
jelly filled donuts. Yeah,
Is this a pigeon? Okay.
But yeah, whenever we get to it, we'll probably do the dub.
Okay.
Hey.
But yeah, that probably wraps up for today.
Hmm.
Yep.
End off with a bot, just like last time. Most recent comment.
Yep.
But anyway, thank you so much for watching those who did. I know it wasn't a whole lot, but I appreciate everybody coming out.
Thank you for any.
I'll probably be
Yeah,
splitting
thank you
these
for.
up into discussions and reactions when it's all done. Because I think that the discussions that we're having are really good on their own. So
Yeah.
And as for moving forward, I'm pretty good doing Christmas Eve. This
I'm good
weekend.
doing Christmas too. So nothing going on.
We'll be
Yep. We might do Christmas then.
Christmas Cowboy Bebop.
Yay!
Most
Yay.
Christmas-y Christmas shows.
Well, here's the thing. It's Christmas Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah.
This is not a Christmas miracle. I think the Christmas miracle will be our survival.
Probably, because oh my god, it's such a weird dichotomy. On one hand, it is actually rather good on what it's trying to do. On the other hand, it's terrible on what it's trying to do. Anyway,
it's the ultimate Marmite show.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I'm Zero. Thank you all so much for coming out, and we will.
Fanta.
Yeah.
I don't know when to say that.
Fanta over here.
And I'm a mouse.
And we got Anana Mouse down there. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh wow.
Show us what you got when the mother